I appreciate that. So Suffolk County started the farmland preservation program in the mid-70s, the first program in the country. And basically, if you own a piece of farmland, the county realized that we had such productive soils and didn't want to overdevelop the county. The way to do it was to pay farmers not to develop their land. So it's a perpetual easement on that land. So you get paid a certain amount of money, and now your land still stays in private ownership, and you have to maintain it and you have to farm it. So so the county started with that program. A lot of the towns realized that the county's efforts were great, but they wanted to enhance those efforts. And some of the towns in the early 80s and mid 80s started to borrow money and they'd put it up to public referendum, it would be passed overwhelmingly, and borrow money to preserve land. So they were preserving both open space for parkland and beach and water access, and also preserving farmland. So the benefit of preserving farmland is that the public doesn't have to pay to maintain it afterwards like you would for parkland or open space. It stays on the tax rolls, and it's still in food production. So the East End towns in, I'd say 1999, passed the Community Preservation Fund. So every time there's a land transfer, 2% of every land transfer funds land preservation in those towns. And that program has actually collected and spent over $1.5 billion. So there's a lot of different efforts that the county started in their farmland preservation program that's led to kind of changing the culture of we shouldn't just keep developing all our productive farmland, we should be saving it for the future. And if you look at the way farming has changed throughout even my lifetime, and thank you, Ryan, for not saying the older guys on the panel, but the more experienced people. But if you look at how farming's changed, when you preserve that farmland, you say, well, that crop's growing there, but that's just today. So you've got so many young people on the panel here who are innovative and who are going to change agriculture, going forward. In 100 years from now, that land will still be preserved. It'll still be available for food production.